everyone. Welcome to another Angel live stream. My name is Allie, and tonight we are celebrating Parable, a suspenseful, character-driven mystery streaming now on Angel. If you have not watched the film yet, you can stream it right now at angel.com/Parable Live. You may want to wait until after the stream. This is going to be an awesome conversation, but this film is already becoming a major Angel Guild fan favorite. So you are going to want to watch it soon. Again, that's angel.com/Parable Live. Tonight, we will be joined by the writer and director, Ritchey Cable, Kelli Stuart, who plays Alex and is also an executive producer on the film, Zarrette Rogers, who plays Eldridge, and Sabrina Broyles, who plays Maisie. As we go tonight, if you have any questions that come up, drop them in the chat because we will be doing a live Q&A toward the end. I am so excited to hear from you. If you've seen the film, let us know what you thought. But to kick things off tonight, for those of you who have not seen it yet, can get a real good feel for the world of Parable. We will be right back. Enjoy.
With all this, have you sought to consider why the 6 of us were chosen?
Something makes me feel that this path we're all on here may not be an easy one.
Do you see that small ornate box on the table? Inside it are a number of cards. These will guide your time.
Those are horrible things you have to remember. But each one of us have horrible things to discover.
Just afraid that my awful event will end up being the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Remember something too, don't you?
Death is easy. Sustaining life is difficult.
Why am I here?
That is an excellent question.
I want to feel like there's something out there, that this water and dirt world has something of meaning.
They are strange stories, like riddles. They tease the mind and the thought. They lay before you a set of options and then ask, which one are you?
Don't do that. Don't give up.
What happened?
Oh, it is so good, everyone. If you haven't seen it, again, I would definitely recommend it. But we are going to be welcoming our guests now. I'm so excited to welcome Ritchey, Kelli, Zarrette, and Sabrina. Welcome, you guys. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Hey,
Why don't
good
we
to be
start
here.
with just a quick, let's start with a quick intro from each of you, help our audience get to know you a little bit. So maybe, Kelli, let's start with you. Let's have you share your name and then how you got involved with Parable.
Sure. My name is Kelli Stuart, and I have known Ritchey Cable and I, we go a long way back. We met when we were 18-year-old kids at Baylor University, and we've been friends for a long time. His wife is one of my best friends. He and my husband are dear friends, and we just over the years have stayed in touch and kept one another, just kept letting one another know what we were up to. I'm a novelist and a writer, and Ritchey has been working on screenplays for a long time. And so several years ago, we paired up for another movie called The Author that Ritchey wrote. And that just started this really fun kind of creative partnership that I just feel so blessed to be a part of. So that's kind of how I got to be involved in this project.
I love that. That's amazing. Sabrina, let's go with you next.
Well, I've always loved like film and stories, and I think like 2 months before Parable, I kind of had admitted to myself that I wanted to try acting, and so I was living at my parents' house and for a few months and figuring it out, and I didn't have a quiet place to go in my house, and so I went out in my car and I filmed my like a monologue that I applied to a bunch of different things with, and Parable was really the only one that I actually wanted to get, and it was a month went by before I heard from them. And then yeah, finally I heard back from Ritchie, and it was honestly the best thing ever.
It was an incredible monologue, so it was awesome. I've never seen someone like make a car come alive with just recording themselves. It was awesome. So she was our first choice, so it was great.
Just had like headshots my friend took or something.
That's awesome. Zarrette, how did you come to join this Parable crew?
Yeah, no, I came across the sides for Parable. I read for the role of, I saw the sides for the role of Eldridge, and I just remember it was like I identified with it so much. I'm an older brother, so this dynamic and the sides that already was being established by Eldridge. I just remember, just out of a lot of auditions that I've done before and self-tapes I've done before, feeling this deep connection to it. And then like Sabrina, I send it in and I'm like, oh, this one feels good. It feels so good. And I didn't hear anything. And then,
Thanks,
so I was
we tried our best. There were 7 people we had to cast.
After a while, I was like, "Oh man, at least it was a cool experience." And then, reached back out, and the rest was history.
Oh, that's amazing! I love that. Well, Ritchie, I'd love to hear from you, and maybe you can tell us a little bit about how the story came to life, what inspired it as well.
Yeah, love to. So again, my name is Ritchey Cable. I'm the writer and director of the film, and it started, there's kind of 2 parts to the story. One is that a good friend of mine wanted to potentially invest in a film, and he said, could you make a film with X amount of dollars? And it was not very many. X was not a very big number. It was very small. And I told him, I said, well, not a very good one. And then I started reading about John Hughes, and when he made The Breakfast Club, he had this pitch that he made to the studio, and he said, hey, I think I can make this, and we'll shoot it in one location, and we'll that way we don't have to have a bunch of company moves, we can make everything work. And so he did that, and I thought, what if I could write a story that took place in one location? I wonder if we could pull up, we had people that were willing to take the risk with us, cast and crew. And so that's what we did. And as far as like where the story came from itself, I was in vocational ministry for 18 years before filming Parable, and some of the most compelling time that I had was in caring for people when at the loss of a loved one. And I looked in kind of the culture in the world and thought, what if we could create a film that kind of cared for people in an unassuming way about the topic of life and death and the afterlife, and what if we could do that in a about an hour and 45 minutes? Could we pull that off? And so I got together with I had this kind of seed of an idea of people waking up in a loft, and each one of them kind of being a certain perspective on life and a certain perspective on death. And that's where part of the term parable, I mean, that's what a parable is. It's asking you, which of the characters do I relate with? And so I happened to be in Florida, and so I started talking to Kelli about the idea, and Kelli began to, we kind of went over to the different perspectives that people have as far as approaches to death. And so each one of the characters in the story kind of embodies one of those perspectives, and that's how we wrote it. And this film came to me super fast. Like the film Kelli mentioned earlier, the author was like a 15 year journey of writing, and this one was about 2 weeks. I mean, it was really fast once it kind of came together. So anyway, that's a little bit of the history there.
Oh, I love
Yeah,
that.
Richie,
That's awesome.
Richie came to me with this idea and we talked about it. And then seriously, I felt like it was like 2 sleeps later. And he was like, well, I'm done. Here, can you read it and see what I say? And it was unbelievable how fast and just how beautifully it was written so quickly.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing. And how did you land on the title Parable?
Yeah. So the title when we were shooting was called The Last Parable, and probably do y'all even remember that? Like it was so long ago,
Yeah.
but that was it was called The Last Parable, and honestly, I really liked that title, and then I began to realize a lot of people didn't care much for it, and I was talking to my kids, and we were talking about essentially like a Christopher Nolan, who's a filmmaker that I think does incredible work. He has all these films with just kind of a single word, like Inception and Prestige, and just Interstellar, and so all these things they're kind of somewhat well-known words, but also like a little mystery to it. I don't know exactly what it means, and I thought, we might be in a culture where the word parable is people kind of have an idea of what it is, but maybe we could utilize that as a term has a little bit of mystery and intrigue. And so that's why I landed on it. I really love the title, and I love it a lot better than The Last Parable. So I'm glad we went with Parable. So.
I love that. That's amazing. So this is kind of a question for the group, but compared to other projects that you have worked on, what made Parable different to work on? Z, can we start with you?
Yeah, sure. So I would say, honestly, just jumping out, there was just such this presence of God that was on set and that was interwoven through all of the elements. I mean, there was just, you could just feel it. And I think that's something that was really special. I hadn't been on a set, let alone a feature, where that was just such at the core, just in how everyone lived their lives, and the joy and the peace and the kindness and the love that was just extended from all the way through cast and crew. It was just there. There were numerous times even before sets, before shooting, depending on if it was a certain set. I remember praying with castmates and things like that. So that was just really special, and something that it just stuck with me and continues to to this point.
Oh, that's so special.
Yeah, I mean, I think the community of this group has been super sweet. Like, we still have a text chain that, so to the other cast members, hey there, good to see y'all. Hope y'all are tuning in tonight. Wish we could have had everyone on here. But I mean, it's been really special to keep up with everyone, to watch people enter in new seasons of life. And that's for me, that's what's been unique.
Yeah, so I came into the shoot about a week after they started. And so the core cast had already been together, and I was very nervous coming in. I was so afraid that I was going to come in and be a weak link, because all week long I just kept getting texts about how amazing they were, and how well they were interpreting the script and the characters. And I was so nervous, but when I got there, I walked in the room and I was really tired because I'd gotten up really early in the morning, and I was like going to dive right in. And Ritchie was like, hey, everyone, Kelly's here. And they all just like cheered. And then it was just like we were all friends. Like we had all just known each other for forever. And I had that second week with them. And it was just a fun, because we were covering very heavy topics. Like this wasn't like a light and airy shoot, but everyone was so professional, and everyone took their role so seriously, and they cared for the characters, but they also cared for one another. And there's just this trust that we all had that was really, really unique.
Yeah, there was just so much love on set too. Like that was my favorite thing, is the cast, and then everyone on the crew and all the people that weren't even on the camera. It was just, the room was always filled with so much love and support, and that's like unforgettable for me. Like that's the best part of it.
I remember when
special.
I remember when Kelli came, the first day that she came, the way when she walked through the door, we were like, now we never met Kelli, and so when she walks through the door, we're like, Kelli, oh my God, Kelli, you were going crazy. Like we had known her for years, and it was the first time that we had seen her. But that type of energy, it just carried out throughout the rest of every single day of shooting. I mean, we even had some, a lot of us, I know me, it was my first time we shot in Kansas City. It was my first time being there. So, when we would either go to eat or whatever we were doing, even, adjacent to the film, it was just this, it was like this, hey, Kelli, that energy was everywhere.
I love
Poor
that.
Kelli was exhausted. So the first scene we did, I said, Kelli, we're going to get, or were you going to tell that story?
Yeah, I was going to tell it. You go ahead.
So anyway, so I'll tell the story. No, so Kelli was like, I knew she was going to be tired. So I was like, all right, I'm going to be a really good director. And I'm going to make the opening scene that we're going to film with her. She'll be a dead body. So she just lays on the bed. But I think Kelli actually fell asleep, like laying on the bed. So
I was 100% asleep. I think I remember at one point someone being like, "Hey, Kelli, close your mouth." So I was super method. I was so good.
Yes, you were. Yes.
That's amazing. Oh my goodness. Well, one thing that I love about Parable is it drops you into the situation immediately. You feel the pressure, you feel the stakes, you're trying to understand everyone in real time. So I'd love to kind of jump into the story of Parable. Again, for those of you just tuning in, we're talking about Parable, a film now streaming on Angel. Go to angel.com/Parable Live to watch now. But I would recommend waiting until after the stream to jump over. So jumping into the story, I want to ask Ritchey, what was your approach to directing escalation? How did you decide? I mean, it was suspenseful and mysterious. How did you decide when to push a moment harder versus maybe when to let it sit in like silence or let it breathe?
Yeah, so like two scenes come to mind. Like the very first scene that comes to mind is there's within the opening 5 minutes, it's kind of a one shot that takes, I don't know, a couple minutes where they walk down the hallway and everything's kind of rushed. And I wanted that to have kind of a tempo. And so the goal was to kind of frame it in a way where there's almost a rhythm to it. And that was, from a directing standpoint, encouraging people, hey, let's go. Let's try to keep the energy up and all of that. And then there on the other side of the, as far as like a scene that had a lot of emotion, I was thinking specifically about toward the end of the film, whenever you have Z and Sabrina in their scenes that required them to really go to some emotional places. And in those instances, I wanted to give them space, allow them to kind of let the scene breathe a little bit. And so I was, trying to, they're incredible actors. So trusting them as actors and going, okay, let's talk about it. Then let's give you a little bit of time to think through it. Y'all talk about it together. I'm going to step away for a little bit and really trying to judge what is the tempo of the scene, what is the emotion of the scene, and then trying to match that as a director. So that's the scene right there that I'm talking about. It was a really, really special part of the film, and I thought both of them just did an incredible job. I texted Kelli like she was part of the intimidating thing. It was like the day before she got there, we shot that. And I was like, I just saw award-winning like acting. It was amazing. And so Kelli was probably like, great, here I come, I'm ready. So
no pressure.
Kelli stepped up and did incredible. She did incredible, but it was that's just kind of judging what does the scene need, and do I need to kind of help push it, or do I need to step back and let it breathe?
Yeah, that's awesome. And you guys did a really great job in that scene he was talking about. As a third-party audience member, I really felt it. So great work there.
Thank you.
And this is a unique approach. Oh, go ahead.
One other thing that was kind of interesting is that,
Yeah.
as far as judging things, is we did a read through. We did a table read through. It was virtual, but we went through the whole thing, and I noticed there's cutbacks between that scene and then a scene with Kelli and Zarrette, which is equally like just unbelievable. They both did incredible, and so we did the read through, and I noticed that the tempo wasn't matching. Like there's all of a sudden this rush tempo with Z and Sabrina. And so we actually said, hey, let's approach the script. Let's think through. And so we made one little adjustment. I won't give it away, but we made an adjustment where that brought up their tempo to match it. And so that was really kind of magical and fun for me to work with these incredible actors and to see how the end product of the film, those scenes just went back and forth, I thought, beautifully. So.
Wow. That's awesome.
A lot of
so question.
I think so much of the film, it has these, you're really on this really cool roller coaster. There's times where, it's a roller coaster where, it really tugs on your emotions because, in general, I think you find either a portion of yourself in each of the characters or all of them. So there's different elements of yourself that you want to win, and that could be even parts of yourself that might be unhealed or parts that you're still working through or working on processing. And so you're cheering for those moments. And what it does is kind of when you're in between like this gray area of trying to understand, like, well, at what point am I losing right now? Am I winning right now? And so it kind of really keeps you in this tension, but also, it really pulls you in at the same time. And, just being on the side of bringing some of that to life, I think it was just really special. And yeah, it just really got to like flex some of your acting muscles where, playing multiple emotions in the midst of, existing scenes. So that's one of the things I loved also about it too.
I love that. What was a favorite part of the story that you guys were excited for the audience to experience?
Who's going to go? Come on, someone's got to go.
I was like, yeah. I'm just kidding.
Well, I mean, there's a level of mystery within the film, so you're excited for people to feel the weight of that and trying to figure it out. But there's a lot of depth to the film that requires some thought, and I'm always interested to hear from viewers that catch things within the film that were intended, maybe some symbolism, because there is a lot of symbolism in the film. But I know we had an experience when we had a viewing of the film here in Tampa, and someone who went to it texted me a few days later, and she just said, I can't stop thinking about it. And she asked us, and I'm not going to give that away either because I don't want to give away these answers. Like, I really do want people to be able to think about them. But she asked us if a certain character symbolized something. And Ritchey and I both kind of gasped because we had not thought of the character in that way. But the way that she presented it and brought it up, we were like, yes, the character does symbolize that. And we hadn't even thought of that. So I love that. I mean, even as a novelist, as a storyteller in general, when your readers or your audience get something out of the film that you yourself didn't even necessarily intend, that's like a really, really magical thing. And so that's been kind of fun to hear how viewers have processed and what they've taken away from the film that we didn't necessarily even intend.
Oh, I love that.
And I tell people now that it was super intentional. I'm like, of course, yeah. That's what that was the brilliance of the film. So
I feel like not even having you say that pretty vague, my mind was like, oh, wait, I think I know what you're talking about, and I think I thought the same thing. So that's cool.
We'll talk about it offline. It'll be good.
Yeah, well, after the stream. Sorry, everybody. You can put your guesses in the comments. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
I was waiting for. I love when people. I think in general, what we try to do is as people, we try to make meaning as quick as possible out of everything, and it happens especially in cinema or whenever you're watching something. You know, as soon as you're watching something, you look for context clues that say, okay, well, I know what's about to happen, and I was just excited because being exposed to how things start and all the way up to completion, knowing what happens. I was excited for people really getting to experience the film, as a whole, because I think it did. Honestly, you can't get to the end. I really don't believe you could get to the end without being challenged and really start to reflect, and it sparks conversation. I've had numerous conversations. I've had people who've even seen the trailer and they started to begin to piece together, well, is this going to, like, well, you can also watch the movie. That's another option that you could also do. And but I think it's great, even with the trailer, how it brings you through just enough where it's just like, oh wow, I think I know what's going on, but not at all. And I think that's the beauty of it. And when you get to the end, it's definitely, it's not, yeah. All of you who think, oh yeah, I know, you know.
I just noticed behind you, you have, what are those called? The time
hourglass.
Hourglass.
Yeah,
Thank
Kelly's
you.
Kelly's got
Is
one
that
too.
the hourglass?
Richie took his off, so I didn't feel bad.
Yeah.
Are those from set?
Yeah. Those are gifts that I gave at the premiere. So those are the actual ones from the film. So
I love that.
It's on my
Also,
bookshelf
I'm
in
like,
the
if
other
I
room.
was one of the, you're like, it is here. Sorry,
Thanks, Sabrina.
sorry. Oh my goodness. Well, Kelly, your character moves through each character's story arc in the film. What were you most focused on portraying in Alex before audiences kind of started to catch on to what was going on to the plot line?
Yeah, I thought a lot about Alex and her motivations as I was reading through the script and memorizing it. I didn't want her to be one-dimensional, and she had to have these conversations with each character, but I didn't want all of them to be the same. And so I started just kind of thinking through, like, what would that look like? And I have 5 children. And 3 of them, I have teenagers and young adult children and a couple of younger children. There's so many of them. But I thought about, the different conversations that you have with your kids, and you approach hard conversations with your kids often differently based on their personalities. You have a child that is a little bit more argumentative, so you have to be very forthright. You have to be very upfront about what you're saying. Like, you can't beat around the bush. And then you have your sensitive kids where you have to approach with a little more sensitivity. And you have your kids that bottle things up or that deflect with humor, and so you have to meet them where they are. And so I just started thinking of Alex as very motherly, and so she needed to approach each character based on their personality. And so I just kind of thought about, well, how would I speak to one of my children if they were behaving this way or they were thinking this way? And that's how I tried to guide those conversations with each one of the characters.
Oh, you did a wonderful job.
Thank you.
Yeah. Was there anything about the
Those were
story?
really good
Oh,
scenes.
go ahead.
Those were really good scenes. I loved with when Alex comes in and just how Kelly, exactly what you were saying, how she relates differently, but kind of issues a very important messaging to each of the characters, but really meets everybody exactly where they are. And I think, yeah, to be so honestly, I thought it was just, and also Kelly, what you did, you crushed it, because I feel like in order to do that, you had to be like one character, but multiple at the same time. So you had to play almost like different roles depending on who you were talking to. And yeah, I thought Kelly just knocked it out the park when it came to the delivery of a lot of those lines, how you really, met everybody where they were. So really, really cool.
I love my
Well,
little
and when
scene
you're
with Kelly.
well, and that's what I was going to say. Like when you're working with these talented actors, I mean, I just bounced off of them, and so when I'm having this conversation with Sabrina as Maisie, and her eyes fill up with tears. I mean, suddenly it's not Kelly and Sabrina talking. This is Alex and Maisie, and I felt the pain, but I felt the pain because she felt the pain. And so it was just really special to work with each one of these actors so intimately, and I was just so grateful that I got the chance. I felt like I learned a lot from them, but they also just they allowed me, by being so amazing, they allowed me to kind of step up and forced me to step up to the plate.
But it was also such a safe place for us to, like, the whole cast made us feel so safe. Ritchie made us feel so safe as a director, and Kelly, like, it was just like the entire set just felt like a big home and a big hug. And yeah, I feel like that's why we were able to go to such emotional places, is because we felt safe to do so, you know?
Yeah, that makes a difference. Was there anything about the story that maybe challenged you in a new way, whether it was emotionally or creatively, as an actor or even as the director?
I mean, I'll go. I think I actually applied to the role of B first originally because Maisie scared me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like, and they'd emailed me and asked me to read for Maisie, but the reason is because I had been through pretty serious depression when I was younger, and from first glance, it was like really intimidating to dive back into those things that felt like that, you know. And but honestly, it was really beautiful getting to kind of take care of the character Maisie, because I felt like I could fully understand all of the complex things someone goes through when dealing with what she was dealing with, and the way that it can be all consuming. So yeah, it ended up being like the best change ever, and I'm really, really thankful for it.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah.
I mean, I think as a director, it was with each of the characters, there was, I mean, it was similar to probably what Kelly experienced, but just from a, like, interacting with each of them. And so, like, I mean, all of them, Raquel and Wyoming and Brian and Cam, I want to give them a shout out as well, because everyone did such a special and beautiful job. And so for me, being able to interact with them, and I think specifically probably even with Sabrina in this, because we had a lot of talks as we were entering into scenes, and I knew that would be, those would be challenging things. And so, but like she said, I thought the entire cast and crew made it just really a safe place, and so it was special for me with each of the characters.
It was really unique. I was gonna say, this was my first experience of getting to be like on the casting side, and so we watched, I don't remember, probably around 3,000 different auditions. Like, we watched just so many, and when we landed on the right person, we just knew it was right. And just so many, they just knocked it out of the park. Like, Raquel was our first choice for B. I think she was even the first audition that we saw for B, and she was just, it was her. And then our Brian, like, it took us a long time to find the character of Archie. We saw a lot of really great reads, but Brian was the first one to make us laugh, and we needed someone who could make us laugh. And then Eldridge, like, we knew we needed someone who could carry the weight and the depth of the film. And so we watched so many auditions, and when Z read, it was like this breath of fresh air, like, oh, there he is. There's Eldridge. So it was just really special to be part of that process.
Yeah, like I said, we got our first choice. So it was like, people could have turned us down, but like everyone was super excited to be part of it, and that was exciting for us. But yeah, you could kind of see I love that pig. Like you could see, like Kelly was saying, you would watch an audition and you'd be like, this is them. Like this is the one. And so we were really fortunate and blessed to be able to, that everyone said yes. So.
And I also think that like that was felt. I feel like by us as actors. I remember so I played college basketball, and I remember during the recruiting process, my dad, he told me something that always stuck with me. And when we were looking at different schools, he said, you want to go someplace that you're loved and not wanted. And I really felt like that's exactly what it was like being on set. You really felt like, we were there filming, but, we didn't know that, we were kind of the first choice, but, hearing it now, it's just like, we felt that, before it was said now and shared. And so what it pushes you to do is, there was also an attachment I know that I had to Parable, where I was just like, I'll run through a brick wall for this, because this is a place where, I was chosen. Someone, there's this emotion. There's something about being chosen and picked and selected. Like, I want you to be a part of this, to build something. And yeah, so it felt just really great, really honored to be there. And yeah, I think it just pushed us to not only take care of each other in a really special way, but give it everything we had.
Yeah. Sabrina, your character, Maisie, has a powerful story. As you mentioned, what was something that you would like audiences to take away from her journey as portrayed in the film?
I think Maisie's is like I think everyone kind of feels like that at some point in their life. Like, they feel like Maisie. And what I hope people take away from it is that everybody has beauty in them, and to never discount what you bring to this world, because you have value by simply just existing. You don't have to do anything for it. And even at your worst day, you still have value. And so if things are hard, like, to keep fighting, because it does get better, and you never know how you're impacting people with just what you carry subconsciously,
Yeah. Z, I have a question for you. There's a blink and you miss it type moment there, where we see a book that's called Parable, and the author is Eldridge. I hear you're also a writer in real life, and I'm wondering what it felt like playing a character that's connected to writing, and did any part of your real life creativity show up in how you approached Eldridge? I don't know, just walk us through if there was any connection there.
Yeah. So first, when it comes to writing, I got into acting through music. So I have notebooks upon notebooks on songs. Songs have always been kind of like I call them journal entries. And when I would be asked kind of like, what's my genre, it was just really journal entries. It was whatever I was going through at the time is how I would process that in song form. At the same time, it was this moment where I always have had a bit of difficulty with with emoting and being very vulnerable. So these areas where I could write, it was my place where I could get a lot of these thoughts out, a lot of what I held in my heart that I didn't share with anybody. So as that took me into acting and then also script writing, when now Eldridge is also, he has this place where I felt this deep connection just from a writer. Being able to utilize that as a medium of expression is something that I've been very thankful and really blessed to have. Something I've taken for granted for a long period of time, but as I've grown, I've come to understand that it's a place that I've really been blessed to have as an outlet to really get thoughts, and journaling, and how that has also fed songs and also fed scripts. And so for Eldridge, it was, I wanted to also utilize that of his form of kind of getting things out, to also he was a person who I heavily related to. he was a person. I think that's why a lot of the scenes between Maisie and Eldridge are so heavy. You begin to see someone who might not necessarily be comfortable with sharing emotion verbally in front of somebody. Someone who might have felt more comfortable putting them in writing form, but now being placed in a position where, you're going back and forth between Eldridge and Maisie, where there are these things that are getting pulled out in a way that haven't been seen before.
And props to Angel. I had no idea that Z was a writer, and I looked at the show notes and I was like, "He's a writer," and so I was excited to hear what he might share about it. So that's good. We'll have to talk about
I
Z.
think that's. Hey, look at that.
We're blasting some music on set too.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Well, I knew the music, so it was great.
Oh my goodness. That's amazing. Were there any with writing, was there a favorite scene to write or maybe film or direct? And can you tell us a little bit about that? Did I direct that at anyone?
Oh,
Yeah, okay, perfect.
All right, I'll start. I mean, my
No, that's
favorite one
great.
was like it stinks because the two I've mentioned earlier, but like the hallway scene when they're walking down,
Yeah.
there was such tempo that I'd watched the Goonies, like where there's total geek out here in the 80s, but there was a scene where all these things happen, boom, 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 and Richard Donner, like I liked how he set it up, and so I was like, this is my chance to kind of have a tempo and to do kind of this one shot, to have like action, like all these things, and they kind of have a rhythm to them. So that was a real favorite of mine. And then honestly, I don't think it was my favorite. I don't think going into it I knew it was going to be my favorite, but like toward the end, the scenes between again Z and Sabrina were like so fun and like rewarding to watch come alive. So it was great. So, and of course, scenes with Kelli as well.
Kelli, I do have a question for you, Kelli. Great segue, Richie. Kelli, how did stepping into an executive producer role maybe change the way that you approach the project compared to just acting alone?
Yeah, well, it gives you a little bit of a glimpse behind the curtain, right? So I felt like I was seeing so much more. And I mean, Richie and I had done months of prep work and planning before the shoot even happened. And so I felt like I had a really intimate understanding of the film and the story. And I had seen all these actors in their auditions, but then having spent so much time on it and then coming into set and seeing the way that they brought them to life in ways that we hadn't even necessarily anticipated was really special to see it from both angles, and then to just have the privilege to work in scenes with them. Like it was a dream. I don't know if I'll ever get to do anything like that again. I would love to, but this almost felt like lightning in a bottle.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for answering those questions and helping us dive a little deeper into your characters and your processes for bringing Parable to life. For those of you that maybe joined midway through the stream tonight, we are talking about Parable. It is becoming an Angel Guild favorite. It's available for streaming now at angel.com/Parable Live. So make sure after the stream, you either go to that link or that QR code and take a watch. It's a really great movie full of mystery and meaning, and it's a very powerful message. So I'm excited for you to see it if you have not yet. But a lot of Guild members have already seen the film, and we have a few shout outs that we want to just share today from some of our Guild members. And then we are going to go through a quick Q&A with our audience members. So again, if you haven't already, you can put your questions in the chat and we'll be going through some of those in just a moment here. Okay, so these are just some shout outs from our guild members. Lisa P said it was one of the most impactful and was all about God and the choices we make, very emotional and thought provoking. This needs to be in the movies. James S said, excellent movie, spawns thought and emotions. Victoria said, as a mother who lost her precious son, each character had a little bit of me in it. By the end of the movie, I felt an overwhelming sense that he would have been one of the orchestrating, been the one orchestrating the gathering. He would have chosen to help in the last moments of his life, and he did. Carolyn says, one of the most beautiful and meaningful movies I've ever seen. The Good Samaritan parable demonstrated with depth and a level of vulnerability rarely encountered. And then the last one I'll share is Chicago B said, interesting way to talk about a subject many avoid. It shows vulnerability to choice. It shows we all have value. I think that is beautiful. You know, everybody takes something away from this film. Do you guys have any thoughts after hearing some of those reviews?
Definitely one that stands out is all of them are incredible, but you know, Victoria, what Victoria is saying, you know, she lost her son, and I think I don't know, you know, sometimes you know you don't even realize when you are in the midst of shooting something, or even in the early stages, about how things can affect people and how they may speak to people. But this is just, yeah, I'm thankful to be a part of a film that stirs emotion like that, that meets people where they are, that you know shows this empathy towards people. I think it's just something powerful. It just feels like I'm, you know, being able to operate outside of yourself. Sometimes it's just like, it's not even about us. And I'm just thankful to be along this journey with such an amazing crew, writers and cast. Yeah, to be able to touch people in that type of, in that type of place.
Yeah, it's so beautiful, and I feel like going into it, I was like, as long as nothing else matters, as long as it touches one person, and I feel like it makes a difference in one person's life, that's enough, you know? And so it's really encouraging to hear that so many people feel touched by it and like take something away from it. So
yeah, when you set out to make a film, you don't know how good it's going to be. Like, you're like, you know, you do your best. No one sets out to make a bad film, but you just don't know. Like, there's so many pieces that have to come together. And one of the most rewarding things, honestly, for me, was when it was on the kind of whether it was going to be approved or not, and just reading all of the comments. Like, I think we had over 100 comments of people, and I was like, oh wow, this really is like my original like goal of trying to create something that's meaningful, that encourages and helps people in challenging times, looking at life and death. Like, I was like, wow, this is actually happening, and it was super rewarding.
I love that. Awesome. Well, we have some questions now from our viewers tonight for you all. Let me get that first one pulled up for you here. Not sure if we're going to throw them up on the screen or not, but I will get started. Let's see. Okay. All right. And for those of you at home, while I'm pulling this up, if you haven't already put your questions in, throw them in the chat. We're looking at them now. So let's see. Okay. Sienna, a guild member, says, is there a character you identify with? The one you played, or maybe another?
I definitely identify with Eldridge for sure. Yeah, Eldridge is a he plays almost like he has this heart towards the rest of the people in the house. At times, looking to be a voice of reason, while also recognizing that he don't have it all figured out on his own as well. And I think that sometimes that's what happens. I know and I mentioned it earlier, as an older brother, sometimes you're put in positions to lead. I've had my parents, my siblings lean on me for maybe advice or different things, and just the sheer fact of being approached for certain things, there's weight to that. It's like, oh my gosh, you even trust me to share this piece or look for advice. I think even if you go for someone for advice, depending on the weight of it, just the fact that they've come to you for as a possible work through for a solution, I mean, that speaks volumes. And I find so many ways that I relate to that with Eldridge, as being this, being looked at as sometimes as a bit of a calming voice. Is just like, I'm just trying to take it one step at a time.
Yeah.
And I love that
I know
Parable
for
is a
me.
movie where. Oh, go ahead, Kelly.
Go. I want to hear what you have to say.
I just love that Parable is a movie where it feels like the characters are so they're like a little bit exaggerated, but you can see yourself in each and every one. Like I don't know, and I definitely see myself in probably all of them, and I think at least a little bit. And you kind of lean towards more character one, and I think the character I lean towards most is like Maisie, but yeah, I think the goal is just to feel understood and see yourself in all of them,
Yeah, and that's very similar to what I was going to say. I think at any given time, I probably would identify with all of them in different ways. And this is, a very open part of my story that I've shared before. But when Ritchey came to me with the idea of Parable, it was in January of 2023. And I was actually in the middle of doing chemotherapy for breast cancer. And so I was in the middle of kind of facing my own mortality anyway. And here we are talking about the different ways that you consider death, and then how do you live in light of that? And I'm reading the script and I'm reading these different questions that are asked of the characters, and I'm asking myself these same questions as I consider what happens if this cancer journey that I'm on doesn't go the way that I want it to. And I think on any given day I would have been any one of the characters, but I think all of us we journey through that, and all of us, we have ups and downs and highs and lows in life. And in those moments, we probably would identify with these characters in different ways.
Yeah. Thank you guys for sharing this. Ritchey, was there a character that I mean, I know, you were the writer director, but was there a character that you related with the most?
Probably two. I mean, Eldridge and then probably Archie. Like you might pick up some of my Archieisms even here. But it was funny because when we were, I was writing it and then we filmed it, and like our first thing whenever we showed it, we were like, hey, when we get to, we were getting feedback and like the Archie jokes were landing, and it was super fun to see people interact with that. And he brings, I think, kind of a humor that maybe is helpful with it being such a deep and kind of heavy thing. So I think those two, but I mean, honestly, I really do probably have a little bit of all of them in me as the writer. Like they kind of come out. So
I love that.
I love Archie's moments.
I love
iconic.
Archie's just little
yeah, Brian's just amazing.
You did a great job. So.
I love that. Okay, on my end, let's see, in true live stream spirit, my end is delayed a little bit, so we're gonna do this next question, and I'm not sure if it's on the screen yet, but I had our technical helper Kalix send it to me. So if it's on the screen, great. If not, I'm just gonna read it. The question though that came from the chat was there a scene that changed meaning for you during filming or editing compared to how you originally wrote or envisioned it?
I mean, I have one that's super fast. Like at the end of the film, right after this really deep moment, I had Eldridge crack a joke. And it was, Z's like, I don't think this is going to work. And I said, no, it'll work. And so I said, just go all in. And so he went all in on this joke. And it was so clear to me that just was not going to work. Immediately I was like, yep, we're going to cut that. We're done with that. So that was one that changed, where I was like, hey, this moment needs a little humor. And then that's where I was like, you know what? Those are probably the times where sometimes maybe I use humor where I shouldn't. Like, let's let the scene breathe a little bit, and there's a little bit of weight here, and that's okay. We don't have to make everyone laugh in the moment. We can allow this to carry on in a meaningful way.
Oh. Did anyone else have an experience maybe where you read the script and then portrayed it that kind of changed in the moment for you, or had something unexpected happen?
I would probably.
Go ahead.
You got Sabrina?
I think it's always just interesting, like reading a script, and then when you're in person with people and you kind of feed off of each other's energies and stuff, and everyone plays it differently than you had it in your mind, but it's so good, and then it changes kind of the way that you react to it. And I think that was the coolest thing. Is I love the scenes where we're all together and we're all like just in the room and chatting and yeah, I don't know. That was fun.
I love that.
Well, there's that scene where you're all sitting on the balcony, and I wasn't there that day, but I've heard all the stories about how it was like 35 degrees out, and you guys had to sit out there and have this very serious conversation. So you guys, did that affect at all how maybe you interpreted or played this scene, or how did you make it through that particular challenge?
I think it was harder for Raquel playing B because I had a sweater on and a beanie and I was good. But we would huddle in between takes and we had somebody like putting a scarf around Raquel and Brian and
oh my goodness.
Yeah. But it was cold that day. Oh, it was so cold that day. I remember. Yeah. Thinking about Raquel, because she has to wear this short sleeve shirt, and it's just like, those are things you don't really consider. I didn't think about when we're reading the script. I don't know why in my mind I didn't think of weather for anything, and then when we got out there, I was like, oh, it's cold. It's cold out here. but it was cool. Yeah, we got through it, and there was a lot of cookies that day. I remember.
Yeah, Z's fruit snacks.
Z's got a sweet tooth, so
I think probably about 100 fruit snacks on set.
Like in answering that question from a different perspective, like for me, it was. When you write something you have in your mind's eye, and it's kind of like this ideal situation of this is exactly how it's going to go. And then there's really it's super fun when what happens in reality is better than what was in your mind's eye. That happens so many times. So I know that's not exactly what she asked in the question, but that certainly was different than when I got there and I was like, wow, this is better than I expected. And that's really, as a writer, I think that's hard to beat what's in the mind's eye of a writer. So kudos to all the actors who did an incredible job.
Okay, we have one last question from our audience tonight. This one's from John, and he would like to know, what was your favorite part of filming in Kansas City? Sounds like the cold. I'm just kidding.
Well, Kansas City was, I've never been. And Yeah, it was hanging with the gang. And honestly, I think that's what led to such this this really cool. It translated, I think, beautifully on film. We legitimately
Mhm.
were, and still even to this day, again, everyone in the group chat and still supporting each other from a distance. But everyone's been super cool. Even outside of shooting, there's been numerous times where someone will pop in a photo in the group chat where someone gets to hang with somebody else in their city, but we were from all over the place, and we came to Kansas City, and in the times where we might grab dinner or something like that after a long day of shooting. Just being able to see the city. The city is just a gorgeous city. We were shooting in this. It was kind of like the arts district, so just a lot of inspiration just from from taking everything in, and and just being with the gang. I think it's two parts. It's being in Kansas City, but also being with just such an awesome crew, and everyone being excited. Everyone who was there from Kansas City, being so open to share the parts of Kansas City that they enjoy with us. So it was awesome. It was awesome, hands down. Definitely a place that I'm looking forward to going back and visiting. And I feel honestly like I would absolutely, when I go back to Kansas City, like I'm calling Ritchie. I'm saying, Ritchie, is it cool if I crash?
Place to stay, Z.
And it's just that the same thing. We went to Kelly's in Florida. We went and we stayed with Kelly when we went out there for our Florida premiere. Like everyone is legitimate. I want this to just be conveyed. We're legitimate. How we might say it. Oh, like, yeah, we're like family. We're really close. Everyone is seriously like super cool with each other. I love everybody, and I see them being in my life forever. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, my 17-year-old son and a friend went to New York City over Thanksgiving, and Z picked him up and took him for a day and treated him. They thought that was the coolest thing they had ever done. So
hanging out with all Kelly's kids too.
Oh yeah, it was really.
That.
I think what also
and the cables.
What I also loved about being in Kansas City is that's Ritchie's hometown, and so much of the crew were friends of his and people who were just so excited for him, which I think is just another testament to who Ritchie is. And I mean, like this story is something that Ritchie created, and the love that we all kind of have is because Ritchie fostered that environment, and then he even brought crew in of people who really were excited to work with Ritchie and for Ritchie and really caught the vision that Ritchie cast. And so I think that was really special, was to have so much of Ritchie's part of Kansas City be a part of the film.
Sabrina, were you going to add anything?
Oh no, I just loved all y'all's kids, the Cables, and then Kelly's.
The Cable kids. I think they're watching, so shout out to the Cable kids. And Melissa. So and I don't know if John is from Kansas City, but I did represent with some barbecue, if that's what he's getting at.
Oh yeah.
So we had some barbecue. So
yeah, the food was amazing.
So good.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing. Well, and I feel like as a viewer, sometimes you get attached to characters. I don't know, maybe I'm just crazy, but I get attached where I'm like, then after, I'm like, and are they all okay and whatever. So it's fun to hear like you guys in real life. I'm like, okay, they're chill, they're good, they're all friends. So it's fun to hear as a viewer that you guys have that bond. And I think that it's just nice to hear that there was that safe space on set. You guys were telling it was a fun watch. It was that mystery. What's going on here? But it also did have that like deeper meaning, and hearing that it was a safe space on set for you guys to explore that. That really comes through for the viewer to be able to then feel the things that I think you were intending them to feel. And it was just a beautifully well-made film. So thank you guys so much for each part that you played in bringing this to life. And thank you to the Angel Guild for helping bring this to the Guild and to help so many other people be able to watch it. Ritchey, just to kind of end us out tonight, I'm wondering, is there anything you'd like to say to our viewers tonight or to the Guild, whether they've seen Parable or maybe they haven't yet? Anything you'd like to share with them tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I think I would say, first of all, thank you, because the support from Angel, the support from the Guild, like being able to read the responses, even since it's been out, Angel has these ads, they'll have other things, and we'll be able to read some of the responses, and it's been super encouraging. And I think, for me, I do hope that you enjoy it. It is a film that is hopefully entertaining, but more than that, I hope that it's engaging for you. That I don't know where you are in life. Hopefully, as Sabrina was talking earlier, that if this is a difficult season, it's not a movie that just fixes things, but hopefully it's a movie that gives you some level of encouragement. And I'm super excited that it's out there, and want to encourage anyone to watch it, and know that we're reading comments, and we're trying to engage where we can with that as well. And we're just super, super thankful for everyone who's shown support, everyone who's been able to watch it, and just the kindness that we've been able to read in these. And like some of the comments earlier, like they're super meaningful to us as filmmakers to be able to engage at that level with people. So it's a beautiful thing. So.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys again, Ritchey, Kelli, Z, and Sabrina, for joining us tonight. Thank you for sharing some kind of behind the scenes things with our audience tonight, and everybody at home, thank you for watching and joining us live tonight. We are going to close out our evening together by sending you back into the world of Parable with playing the official trailer once again, and we also have a quick sneak peek of the film. If you've not watched the full film yet, you will be able to stream it live, or stream it now at angel.com/parable live. Again, that's angel.com/parable live. Thank you again, everybody, for joining us tonight. This was such a wonderful evening, and enjoy the trailer and the sneak peek. We'll see you guys next time.
Thanks, Allie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
With all this, have you stopped to consider why 6 of us were chosen?
Something makes me feel that this path we're all on here may not be an easy one.
Do you see that small ornate box on the table? Inside it are a number of cards. These will guide your time.
Those are horrible things to have to remember. But each one of us have horrible things to discover.
I'm just afraid that my awful bet will end up being the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Remember something too, don't you?
Death is easy. Sustaining life is difficult.
Why am I here?
That is an excellent question.
I want to feel like there's something out there, that this water and dirt world has something of meaning.
They are strange stories, like riddles. They tease the mind and the thought. They lay before you a set of options and then ask, which one are you?
Don't do that. Don't give up. What happened?
sorry. I don't know how I got here. Okay, I'm leaving. I don't mean any harm.
This isn't my place. I don't know where I am. Wait. Please. We got bigger problems. I just woke up on the floor and she was right there. I shook her, but she wouldn't wake up.
What did you do to her?
Hey, no, whoa. I couldn't do something like this. I'm not good with dead bodies. You see, when I was 5, I was at the park, and this guy pulled up with a van, right?
Hey, I see, you're a funny guy, huh? Look, funny guy. I don't know what you did to this girl, or who you are, or where we are. I'm not sticking around to see how things turn out for you.
Please, no. I just woke up in here. Saw you shaking the body. I didn't know what to do. Please, I need to check on her.
What is going on?
I was a pre-med major for 2 years. This is about all I know. She's still slightly warm, but gone.
How do we know there's only 3 of us?
4.
Where did you come from?
I'll show you. I just woke up here, but I certainly don't remember going to sleep there.
Sounds like a common theme.
There's something strange. I don't recognize these clothes. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's something I definitely wear. Actually, they look really good, but they're not mine.
Same here.
Yeah, not mine either.
This is Kansas City. This is Kansas City. My grandfather used to live here, and we visited him as a kid. This is Kansas City.
You're confused. It's still good old Pittsburgh.
No, this better be Austin.
Or New York.
Pasadena.
No, this should be Nashville.
It's impossible. I'm out.
Where are you going?
Do you know someone in Kansas City?
What do we do with the body?
What body?
There is no we, okay? I don't know any of you. There's only me, and I am going.
Look, my grandpa was a police officer, and I know enough to know you don't leave a scene of a crime, especially with a body.
Okay, again, what body?
I'll go to the cops when I get out of here, all right?
Grandpa would always say...
I don't care about your grandpa! Okay, let's call the cops then. Anyone have a phone?
You can use my cell.
Anyone else? Because mine's gone too. No one? All right, so I'll leave, talk to the cops, ask for directions, let them know about the body and how you probably did something sinister.
What? Body! There's a body in the bedroom. And you're certain they're dead?
Yeah, we had Miss 2 years of pre-med give her professional opinion.
It's a pulse. I think I know how to take a... Hey, guys? Sir, are you okay?
Do the pulse deal.
Not another one.
So let me help you walk. This floor is disgusting.
Okay, I'm going.
Please, we need to figure this out.
I'll figure this out alone.
Stop for just a minute.
I've had too many minutes in here.
Okay, can somebody please tell me about the body?
Please, I don't have much time.
This doesn't make sense.
Yeah, please, take her pulse again. It's been the one thing we could depend on in all this.
All right. Hey, we all seem to be a little bit on edge. What do y'all say we circle up? Introduce ourselves. Share the last thing we remember before we got here.
We hope you enjoyed that sneak peek. To continue watching the full movie and gain VIP access to our entire library, join the Angel Guild. What is the Angel Guild? The Angel Guild is a group of millions of people like you transforming the industry. We want you to become a guild voter and greenlight our next hit project. Most films are greenlit by only a few voices. Ours are greenlit by you. At Angel, we cannot release a project unless it's been approved first by the Angel Guild. You get to have a voice in changing the film industry with stories that amplify light. Angel Guild members have greenlit shows like The Wingfeather Saga, The King of Kings, and Tuttle Twins, shows that are teaching children positive messages of family, faith, and building a hopeful future. We believe in telling excellent, meaningful stories. Your membership directly contributes to the production of more projects, allowing filmmakers to make more quality shows faster. In 2025, we reached our goal of 1 million members in the Angel Guild. This allows us to fund up to 5 seasons of TV shows like The Wingfeather Saga, Tuttle Twins, and others on a continual basis. In addition, your Angel Guild membership also grants you bonuses and perks that we are constantly adding to. Perks like complimentary movie tickets to every new Angel release in theaters, Guild early access to film and TV shows before they're made free to watch, opportunities to give your feedback to filmmakers, Guild exclusive live streams, discounts on Angel merch, and so much more. Join the Angel Guild today and help us make movies that matter to our children, our families, and the world. Welcome to the future of entertainment.